Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg with Cloudcast Media. Always good to have a frequent guest on our show. He is the CEO of the San Diego Council on Literacy, and that is the inimitable Jose Cruz. I wanted to use a new word today.
I like that. What did you just call me?
Inimitable, right? Exactly. How you doing, Jose?
I'm doing great. Doing great.
Good. How long you been with the Council on Literacy?
We go back to, actually, I was there when it was being formed back in 1986. So we're looking at, 38 years now, from that time. And then I started working for the council in 1988.
Right.
Total time, because I did have a little bit of a break. Now I think I'm into my 32nd year.
Right. In 1986, founded by Mrs. Helen Copley, who was my boss's boss when I worked for the Union Tribune. She was the publisher of Copley Press. The flagship paper was the San Diego Union Tribune. And then at the time, South County City Council member Brian Bilbray eventually became a congressperson. And so, 1986. Why was it formed?
What was happening at that time was really exciting. The whole challenge of adult literacy was coming out. A gentleman named Jonathan Colesville in 1984 wrote a book called Illiterate America. And that kind of got people interested. And there were already a few adult literacy programs out there, but not the way that it was going to become. PBS and ABC worked together to produce a awareness campaign called Plus, Project Literacy US.
Oh, really?
And it was to bring attention to the challenge of adult literacy in America, which people didn't know that existed. But statistically, we were seeing at that time even, it's the same number, about 20% of the adult population reading at the lowest level of literacy. So this was a campaign ABC, PBS did for maybe almost 15 years. And then going through the whole literacy of it, Barbara Bush was already involved with Literacy Volunteers of America. Her husband became president. He started the National Institute for Literacy. They did one of the first national studies on adult literacy, and just a lot of good things happened to bring attention to this challenge. We're still riding on that momentum. It's many years later.
Yeah, and Jose, what we always chat about, and sometimes it's a little bit tricky to get, to narrow down on it. How is illiteracy defined? That when we say we have 400,000 folks who are functionally illiterate, whatever the term is, why that number and what makes that number? Why?
Yeah, there are a few measures. I mean, I hear from people say either you can read or you can't. And it's not like that.
Not that simple.
Black and white like that.
Right.
The numbers that we're counting are people who are maybe reading at a fourth grade level or below. Now we're using a grade level. In this case, there is also a definition of literacy, which is the ability to read, write, and do calculations to meet personal and professional needs. So that's really relative to the person and also to the demands that society has upon us.
Right.
You went back 80 years or so, you were considered literate if you could sign your name.
Right.
Now we're in this age of information, and people say, oh, no, we need print less. We have technology. Yeah, we probably need it more.
Well, and that's a very good point. We're chatting with Jose Cruz. He's the CEO of the San Diego Council on Literacy. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight. On the Community Show, we are the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 18th year, brought to you by the really, really great people of the Mission Fed Credit Union for more than 6 decades, just doing great things for people living in San Diego County. And, I think, what always sort of trips people up on this is how you're defining it. But in this day and age, where if you are not keeping on top of digital literacy or what is coming at us, that gap is just going to widen exponentially, is it not?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think we've seen that in a number of sectors.
Yeah.
The gap is there, and you still have the issue of access to the hardware access to connectivity, and then again, the basic skills issue, and then second language, cultural issues, et cetera, things that make our job a little bit complicated.
Right. Is our percentage of those that we deem functionally illiterate in San Diego County, whatever that number is, 20% or whatever, is that pretty much standard for an urban area? Would you find those numbers in L.A., San Francisco, Chicago, L.A., or is it different?
Well, we're pretty average, but I would tell you that the numbers in LA are higher.
Okay.
LA City, I mean, you're looking at about our number being about 22%. LA, City of LA, somewhere near 36, 37%.
Why is that?
And part of it does have to do with, I mean, California is going to have different numbers because this is where we have the largest number of immigrants and refugees. Even though the challenge, and we're talking about adults in this case.
That's right.
The challenge of adult literacy, if you look at the national numbers, 70 to 75% of those individuals who need help with reading are English speaking. And so it makes their job harder because there are folks out there who say, oh, of course they can't read. English is not their first language. Primarily what we're dealing with is a genuine literacy challenge for people who have gone to school in this country.
Right, right. Well, I know you folks have done so much, the Council on Literacy. You work with how many providers?
It's 33 now, and we have a couple on board. So,
30.
So probably we started off with 5. Going back to your initial question, Drew, I mean, we started with 5 literacy programs back in 1986, and here we are. It's 33. We're countywide. We go all the way from San Ysidro to Borrego Springs, with these programs who are serving different populations.
Right, exactly. And of course, one of the goals of the Council on Literacy is to shine a light on those 33, programs. And the issue of literacy, you cannot survive in the 21st century if you're going to go down the path and not be able to figure some of these things out. And I think that's what's so critical. Mm-hmm. You and I have talked about it ad nauseum. There's a direct correlation between literacy and those who are incarcerated, correct?
There is. And literally, and I hadn't thought of it this way, except I'm hearing from people when a child gets help with reading, when an adult gets help with reading, and especially children intervening at an early age, people coming back to us and saying, thank you for saving that child. And they mean it. When you look again at some of the things that happen when young people don't learn to read and how they feel about themselves, what skills that they have to function in society, what their options are, which are limited. Well,
you bring up something we talk about all the time on the show, Jose, and especially when we talk about, book distribution. It's funny because we talk about it a lot because you sort of, maybe not wanted, but this is what's happened. You are a book distribution group now, whether you like it or not, because people know that you can actually distribute these, 100,000 books over the years, and actually maybe within a year and all that aspect of it. But one of the things you talked about with, self-esteem, and, there's so much that is connected to, not being able to read and how that impacts you in so many aspects of your life. But when you talk about book distribution, never ceases to amaze me when we chat about it. You've always been laser beamed on when we get books in the hands of young people, it may be the first book they've ever had that they can call their own. Talk about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. Go to Barnes & Noble, buy a book for a child. Look at how much it costs. All right. Look at how our teachers are struggling to provide books for their children, books in the school library.
Right. That's right.
Books in the classroom library.
Right.
It's not what people think. I mean, there's a real gap there in terms of resources. And then, again, what's taking place at home that somewhere near half of our low-income children do not have a single book. And so it's such a fun experience to be involved in book giveaway programs, to do what we've been doing. And it's because of COVID, we've had this surge. Since 2020, we've given away 400,000 brand new books for children. And it's still not enough. But it's so much fun, Drew. And I hear from people, well, you're just giving them books. That's not going to do anything. Oh, yes, it does. Oh, yes, it does. And yes, we'd like more. We'd like their parents to be able to read to them, and we'd like our programs to take advantage of the opportunity when these resources do come in to use that. And programs like Words Alive, they they do that really well. We have these books, and now we have this program, this curriculum, these lessons around these books. That makes things better. But having the books does make a difference.
Yeah, well, no question. We're chatting with Jose Cruz, CEO of the San Diego Council on Literacy. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades, just doing wonderful things in San Diego, County. Before we go on break, maybe you can just touch base, and then we can finish it up after break. This documentary that has come out that someone that's near and dear to both of our hearts, John Corcoran, who wrote a book very famous, The Teacher Who Could Not Read, if I'm not mistaken. That's the title of it. But he was involved in this documentary. What's the documentary about?
It's called The Truth About Reading, and it's one of 3 that were released almost at the same time. And I would tell you, something is definitely happening out there, because we didn't have any documentaries. There may be a 15, 20-year gap.
Wow.
Except for the one the Council on Literacy did, which we're very proud of. That one is called Voices and Faces, Literacy in San Diego. You can look it up on YouTube.
Nice.
But there were 3 documentaries. John's The Truth About Reading, the one that was produced in Oakland called The Right to Read, and another one called Hopeville. And they're all on the same topic, and it's about the science of reading.
Right.
And it's about both youth and adult literacy, and just a conversation about equipping our teachers and our parents with the tools that they need, so that we are doing evidence-based literacy instruction using the best methods according to the data. So sometimes it gets a little bit controversial. People think, well, the methodology, the reading wars are back, the pendulum's swinging the other way. So we're not going to engage in that conversation. It's not about that.
Right.
It's a body of research. And that's what John is emphasizing in his documentary. Let's look at what works, and let's do something with it. That's all it is. We're here for people that say, the science of reading is controversial, and it's not. It's just research. It's not a methodology. It's people coming together, collecting information, and coming back with some recommendations.
Right, exactly. We'll come back from break, Jose. I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to talk about what makes a city a literate city, and so forth. And we always save time, as you well know. What can our listeners do to support your efforts? Obviously, money doesn't grow on trees, so donations are important, but anything else you can think of.
Thank you.
We definitely want our listeners to get engaged with as we are chatting with Jose Cruz, CEO of the San Diego Council on Literacy. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast, brought to you by the real cool people of Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades. Folks are involved in everything that is all good to help support, whether it's food insecurity, whether it's literacy, whether it's homelessness, pick a topic. Mission Fed is usually there shoulder to shoulder with everybody, chatting with Jose Cruz, the CEO of the San Diego Council on Literacy. So I know you get asked this question all the time. How do you base the Council on Literacy, and of course your 33 literacy providers, on success? Is it a metric And there's certainly metrics are very, very important. We used to have 22% people in San Diego County that were functionally illiterate. Now we're down to 20. That's a great number. Or is it, we went and served 10% more people that were getting literacy services than we did before. Certainly a good metric. What type of metrics do you use?
We really look at folks, how successful we are in generating referrals, helping people find where the services are, enhancing the availability and quality of literacy services for the residents. And then from there, 100,000 people being served through the 33 programs.
Right.
We really look at it because they all have different metrics, and the instruction is learner-centered instruction. So it's not going to be always a grade level or a scale. I mean, we have all of those,
right? But
just looking at what motivated the person to ask for help, and then did they reach their personal goals, long-term, short-term, whatever it might be. And so when I think about it, I think about every day we are succeeding with another person. They are getting closer to living their dream, to be able to read, to pursue the career that they want to pursue, to help their children out, to be involved in their community, all of those different things. So I like counting just the stories. There's the data and there's the stories. And like I said, and every learner has a story. Every single one of them, and so looking at it more that way. But there's not a single metric.
Yeah, and again, I think it's something. It's a lot of it was just as good fundamentals, blocking and tackling, to say the least. Getting in front of someone, helping them provide those services, getting the services that they may not have been exposed to, in the past on that. And I think something you brought up, I don't think we can talk about it enough, is if we being the Council on Literacy, don't know that you're in need of literacy services, we can't read minds. So either you're embarrassed, totally understandable, and you don't want to admit you can do it, or you aren't aware of it. How do you reach out to people to say, we're here to help you? If we don't know you need help, we can't help.
Yeah, and Carrie Scott, who's just recently retired from the Carlsbad City Library Learning Center, always says, it's kind of hard to help people who don't want to be found, especially if you're an adult and you're English speaking. You don't want people to know. And look, there's at least 600,000 adults in San Diego County who could use the services.
Right.
And then of course, all the children who are affected by that and by a number of other factors. So, what really works, it's the same old thing. It's word of mouth, people talking to each other about, hey, I was in this program, they helped me out, they helped my sister, whatever you can go to. I mean, we do things like these podcasts, we do things in the media, we have certain events and such, social media, everybody can be a promoter now. So it's a variety of things, but still word of mouth being that one thing.
Yeah, and I think, speaking about events, you and I were chatting about this. You put on a very successful event with your literacy providers, I think the other day, or a couple of days ago. And that, you said we had like 27 of the providers were there. Talk about that.
Man, I'm still riding high on that. It was Tuesday, and we had, because of COVID and a number of other factors, we haven't had an in-person meeting in forever.
Wow.
And so there are 33 programs, 25 were represented at this meeting, so it's at 75%. The other 8, they all had good reasons for not being able to join us. I mean, that's how tight this network is. But it was just so inspiring to have them all there, to have the networking time that they had together, to see each other versus the Hollywood squares of Zoom.
Right.
And we gave them a lot of time just to visit. We gave out awards to everyone. They all deserved them. We had lunch, but it just reinforced. It was that bonding period for us that we haven't had in a long time.
Right, exactly. Now, do you collaborate with other literacy programs in the county or in the state or even nationwide?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's Pro Literacy, which is a national adult literacy organization.
Right.
We've been a member of that group for a long time, and we are in communication with the California State Library folks who run library-based literacy programs all up and down California, at least 100 library sites.
Right.
We're pretty well known in the arena, and work with other literacy coalitions. There hadn't been any for a long time, like the San Diego Council on Literacy, but now Santa Barbara has a coalition, and we work with them to help them get started. They did the work, but they did talk to us a lot.
Right.
Oakland and Sacramento.
Nice.
So it's good to see people coming together around this cause, because Council on Literacy can't do it by itself. We need all these programs. We need countywide organizing. These programs in different cities need to be working together, and they're doing that more.
What would you say the greatest challenge is? Certainly resources are very critical. Money doesn't grow on trees, so you need the money to help. You can push things out. But other than that, what is one of the greatest challenges that you'd love to overcome?
The big one really is we can talk about the numbers, and they're just numbers. There's people in these numbers, right?
Right.
We can tell you that today, 34% of fourth graders attending school in San Diego County are not meeting the standard for reading. Now, that's a real number.
Right.
And people hear that number, it's like, oh my God, that's too many. That's crazy. Can you pass the peas? We just move on to the rest of our lives. And we want this to be in the public consciousness. We want to raise more awareness. We want to reach more people. We want them to be engaged in some form or another. We can talk more about that. But to not to be distracted. And we're full of distractions. I mean, we move from one thing to the next as a society.
Right.
All you got to do is turn your TV on, your radio, whatever it might be. This
computer that we call
it.
We call it cell phone.
Our cell phone. And so we want folks, because we believe in what we do. We know just how much it affects quality of life across the board. And so we can't, again, do this by ourselves.
I've talked about this before. Again, I was honored to work very closely with you for many, many years, and still do.
On the advisory board.
Honored to be on the advisory board. But, with our, we were talking about this last night, the Union Tribune, Dr. Seuss Race for Literacy, which raised quite a bit of money for the council back in the day, and so forth on this. And you really can't, talk about these things, enough in that area. But one of the things I think has been very successful when you get somebody up front and center, Maria Gonzalez comes to my mind, and Maria, who I had met when I was working with the Union Tribune, she said, I'm going to take care of this thing. I cannot help my 8-year-old, 7-year-old with homework because I can't read. And there's a bold step for her to get the services. And when you hear her story, if you're not choked up, that means you were the Tin Man. You were born without a heart, for God's sake. We can't have enough of Maria's stories, correct?
We can't. And more people need to know that story, and hundreds of thousands of other stories out there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Maria, actually, her first language wasn't English.
Right.
And she couldn't help her kids with their homework.
Right.
She started getting tutored. She went to college. She joined the military. I saw her retirement party. The officers cried, right? And her kids
cried.
Yeah, we all cried. Yeah,
we all cried when she spoke to.
Yeah, but she did all these things. Her husband also went to school and joined the. All these things happened in this family. That's the power of reading.
Well, and if nothing else, and you and I had this conversation, if you don't have a heart, you don't want to support literacy, so be it. But it's an economic driver. And for those folks that are now functionally literate, and now are contributing to the tax base, multiply that by every person that does it, you are boosting the local economy. You're getting somebody who is not taking money from the economy, for whatever reason, but now is contributing to it. It's economics, is it not?
Yeah, we estimate, and there's no way to know for sure, but we estimate a 10-to-1 return on investments. And we're talking about all these different ways where illiteracy costs us money.
Right.
And just for that $1, we get all these things back. So, we'd love to see people respond to that.
Well, I mean, the number is, and it used to be 70% of those incarcerated were, functionally illiterate. How much of that number is still there or not, but it's a big number.
It's a big number. I want to say 33% of individuals incarcerated in state and federal correctional institutions are at the lowest level of literacy. And then to finish the math, 37% are only marginally literate. So there's your 70.
Right. And when you think about that, and you're incarcerated at $85,000 a year on the state money, times X amount of people, times X amount of years, that's a real number, okay?
Yeah.
Versus you are now out in, you can just do the math on that stuff. Jose, got about a minute or so to go here. What can our listeners do?
I just want to say,
Please.
I don't want to waste that minute. And one
No,
is
no,
the recidivism rate.
Take 2 minutes.
Individuals who are incarcerated who get help with reading,
Yeah.
the likelihood of them returning is anywhere from reduced by 20 to 35%. It's incredible.
Huge.
Yeah, we want people to talk about this issue. We want them to volunteer, tutor children, tutor adults, read to children. There's opportunities to do that. Do book drives, donate to the San Diego Council on Literacy or to your favorite literacy program. We do need the help. And we feel like we have this thing that covers, it's not the only thing, but it covers a lot of ground.
Yeah, it's too important. What's the website?
LiteracySanDiego.org.
Jose, always appreciate you coming on. You know, let's do this. It's been a while since we've done this. Why don't we, next time you're on, bring in a Maria or someone like Maria that's benefited from the services and talk about how it's changed their life? What do you think?
Let's do that.
Well, we'll make that happen. Okay. Jose Cruz is the CEO of the San Diego Council on Literacy. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. This organization for 6 decades just continues to raise the bar and do great things for people living in San Diego County. We hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.